Welcome. Happy All Saints Day. November 1st, where we have an intersection of pagan and Christian holy days. Samhain, Day of the Dead, as well as Halloween, which is short for All Hallows Eve. Eve meaning the evening before. And today is All Saints Day. And that's a Catholic Christian day of remembrance of the saints and the martyrs. I am very interested in ritual and routine, even. I see them as distinct but having an overlap. Ritual often has ceremonial aspects, religious, spiritual, a kind of magical attribute of linking meaning to things, of bringing together correspondences, corresponding symbols, actions that emphasize a feeling, thoughts, often a number of things that take us into another state, another experience, an altered state of consciousness, and a feeling that we want to tap into. So a feeling of reverence, of gratitude, of peace, of upliftment, of salvation. And I think these kind of spiritual rituals are very, very important. I think a more sophisticated approach is recognizing that the meaning behind these things evolves through time. And it's actually us that gives the meaning to it. They are a reflection of our beliefs and our values. And what is truly empowering is to realize, because these rituals are meant to empower us, and the way that we truly benefit from that empowerment is to make these rituals our own. Instead of thinking, what is the right way to do this? What is the way that somebody else has done it? Instead, we can make it our own. So feeling free to modify things and even rewrite stories. It's important that it have significance for us. And unfortunately, too many of these rituals have either been lost or very diluted. For example, Halloween. I'm not going to go into the the historical context or the academic analysis of it. But clearly, it was once more than just candy and scary costumes for kids. There was a deep reverence for the cycles of life, and that this time of the year is about death, is about the transformation that happens during the autumn, and also a recognition of the spirit world, of the ancestors. And so this is really the meaning in both the European pagan tradition as well as the Christian tradition. And we know from history that when Christianity really laid claim to Europe, it took a lot of pagan traditions and rituals and temples and co-opted them and made them their own, its own. I don't think that in itself is wrong. Likely the way they went about it was cruel, and they justified it in erroneous ways. But I think that our traditions can evolve. They must evolve for them to continue to have meaning for us. Yes, there are archetypal symbols that must retain a relevance to a primordial truth. But I think that we have an intuition about that. And that as we're remaking them, if we're doing it from a reverent place, that we'll be renewing them essentially. The other thing that I want to talk about that overlaps or intersects with this is routine. And rituals can be seen as routine in that they're performed in a similar way, and that repetition and that routine of them makes them feel natural and part of a structure that supports us, supports our family and culture. We need things that are predictable, that are familiar, and even in our regular daily life, having routine can also be like ritual. Keeping our house clean, having a meditation practice, having an exercise routine, all of these things can actually support our well-being, including our spiritual well-being, a sense of purpose, and that there is a kind of rhythm to our life. I think these rhythms are very, very important, and they actually help our body and minds be healthy. In Ayurveda, which is the ancient Indian system of medicine, they see the body the body and the mind really, as these three distinct elements. And the element, the Vata element, which is manifest in the nervous system. In Ayurveda, they say that routine and ritual help to soothe the nervous system. So when we know what we're doing, when we have a routine and a schedule, even when we're eating the same things, that helps our nervous system. I think modern day people who have lost their culture and their routine that is grounded in practicality as well as spirituality, and those two things certainly can overlap and should overlap. This is really embodiment when spirituality and practicality overlap. But I think that when we lose these traditions, we feel quite anxious, we can feel lost, and we can feel like we don't have a purpose. Because we're just kind of blown around in the wind. Something distracts us, and we get pulled in this direction and then that direction. And especially nowadays, with so much stimulation at our fingertips all around us, that it's easy to get blown off course. It's easy to lose our way. And when that's happening on a daily basis, it's going to make us feel very fragmented and disassociated. We'll even have a loss of identity. Who am I in this world of seeming chaos? So these routines and these rituals can really give us a framework and a foundation to live our lives in. And not that they are permanently static or rigid, but that we do have some routine. I think most people will recognize the truth of having something that you commit to. For example, I found that doing these videos where I'm committed to doing one every day, which sometimes I've missed, but that routine puts me on the spot, demands of me that I bring forth, that I reach inside and bring forth my inspiration and intellect and creativity. It's much easier for me to stay introverted and introspective than to actually put my self-expression out in the world. But I've recognized how important that is, that creative birthing. And I've come across this many times, and I know the importance of having this practice, this commitment, where you may not even feel like doing it, but you show up each time. Maybe that's going to the gym. Maybe that's writing in a journal. Maybe it's going to a yoga class. For me also, it's sitting and meditating. And the benefit that comes from that commitment to that routine is immense. Because generally we don't take giant leaps of progress. We make incremental progress. And those increments are taking the pressure off in a way that we've got to change instantly. that we've got to fix ourselves in a moment. We realize that actually change comes through incremental steps. Commitment to every day making a little bit of progress. And the ritual part of that, to me, is the reverence, the presence that we bring into it. So we're not just getting it done. We're actually being very mindful to be in the present moment as if this is the most important thing. When we are doing that thing, we're fully doing it. We're fully present for it. And we have a reverence as if it's a sacred ritual, something like praying to the divine. Every action, every practice can be a spiritual practice where we're tapping into a larger part of ourselves. We're transcending our limits, what we thought were our limits. I mean, that's what it's about, really, is having a practice, having a ritual. It's about expanding ourselves. And how do we do that? This physical world seems limited and constricted, but actually we have capacity that extends far beyond the rational, materialistic world. We can change, and we can tap into resources that we had no idea that we had. And that's why dreams are important. Dreams are what inspire us to take action. Faith, spiritual faith, is what inspires ritual. Maybe there's nothing tangible. There's no audible words from God or the divine responding to your prayers. But the thing is it resonates in us. We recognize it. We should recognize it. Perhaps we're going through the motions and not really being present, not putting our full self into it. And in that case, we will not benefit from it to the degree that we're not putting ourselves into it. We're not putting our consciousness into it. We're not embodying it. So what we get out of it is the presence that we bring to it. And the recognition, the value that we see in it. I get great satisfaction of a daily walk. And it's quite routine. It's often at a similar time of day, and it's a similar route that I take. And it's interesting because each time I do, I notice different things. I'm doing the same practice, getting some exercise and fresh air, but I'm noticing different things each time. Subtle things, little things. How the plants in one yard are different, changing, flowers coming out, leaves falling off. It's subtle, but I value it very much, and I look forward to my walks. It's also in the ritual of bathing, dressing, cleaning my house. When I don't do these things, I feel a kind of depression. it can be chicken and egg, where I'm feeling depressed and I don't do those things and I feel more depressed. I feel like giving up. But the way out of that, the way that I have found to pull myself out of that depression is to do something. Is to do something simple and basic, such as cleaning my house. I find that is a very powerful thing. And maybe I don't clean the house top to bottom. That would be too much. But every day I do some housework. I do something that feels satisfying in getting things done. And after a week of that or 2 weeks of that or whatever, it's easy to stay on top of it. And it feels good to have a clean and organized home, I find. And even the ritual of the routine or ritual, whatever you want to call it, of making food, of doing the dishes and putting things away. And again, this is a routine. How many times have I washed those same dishes and put them in the same place, made the same meal? But when I'm very present, I really enjoy it. It feels quite satisfying even to do the same thing. There's something very grounding and affirming about it. And in this way, I don't mind that my life is simple. I find great pleasure and satisfaction in the simplicity of it. By having these routines, I don't feel like there's anything missing from my life, or maybe not entirely. Sure, there's some things that I would like to have more of or expand upon. But my life feels fuller when I have these routines and these rituals. And as far as the rituals go, this is something that can be so rich and so beautiful, because we can use our spirituality to really inspire us to be creative. I mean, if we look at the cathedrals, we look at the temples, all these things, it is the ritual that people valued that inspired them to create these beautiful works of art. And those works of art and those rituals that have been elaborated upon in great depth, we should remember that that's for us. It's not for the deity, other than that in that practice, we are putting our thoughts on that deity, on that spiritual faith, on that belief. We're affirming it. Just like when we go to the gym, we're affirming our strength and our health. So these things that we do, they are affirming of whatever the intention is. And so we should be mindful of what the intention is and keep that in mind as we're doing the thing. If we're thinking, oh, I can't wait till this is over, that's not going to benefit us. We might as well not do the thing at all. And we can even take this into things like work, where we might wonder why we're doing it, or it's just for the money. But if we're mindful about this thing and we're present with it, we can make the ritual of it much more satisfying, much more affirming. It can be about service. It can be about our competency. And I think we really need to reclaim these things as, and the fact that they overlap, that really basic routines can be a spiritual practice. Thanks for watching.